Hi guys, and welcome back to Man Reacts. Let's talk about feminism today and how it seems like there is a growing number of women who once used to be extreme feminists and are now totally regretting it. Why? Let's take a look. Feminism gave women encouragement and empowered them to start living their lives in such a way that they wouldn't need the help of a man. It taught them that they could be financially independent if they made the choice to study and climbed the corporate ladder. It taught them that they could also provide for their families and make money to raise children, even if they didn't have men in their lives anymore. It enabled them to think that they could live without families, without having children, and be who they wanted to be, without worrying about their biological need to have children and raise them. Over time, what happened was that more and more women chased their corporate dreams, thought that they could take over men's role in society, and practically waste away their fertile and prime years in either pursuing a career or chasing the stereotypical bad boys. But soon enough, when these women got to their 30s and above, they started realizing that with every passing year, it was becoming harder and harder for them to become pregnant. And so started their change in mindset and realization that life wasn't just about becoming wealthy or believing in the extreme forms of feminism that make these women think they can live their lives without men or without having families and adhering to their natural feminine tendencies. They also began to realize that men of their age prefer younger women and began to wonder why they were being ignored by men. The truth of the matter is that a 35-year-old man with a job, money, and a car can entice younger, more attractive women in their 20s. Most men need a year or two to get to know a woman before becoming engaged and then getting married. As a result, if a guy marries a 35-year-old woman after going through this process, she won't give birth until she's 38, which will significantly reduce her odds of having children. A woman in her early to mid-30s must begin considering men in their late 30s, 40s, and perhaps even 50s as potential suitors. Many of these older men are now the only ones left on the market because they'd have already had children and marriages. If these men are divorced, they likely already have children, and they might want a second wife. Some of the mid-30s women I know don't seem to want to accept this. They claim that only older men are looking at them and they find it repulsive. These same ladies spent their 20s hopping from one fling to another, and now they're confused about what happened. They didn't anticipate finding themselves in this situation, and things weren't supposed to turn out this way. Many of them find it shocking that men select women rather than women selecting men. It's challenging for women to accept that they aren't being pursued in the same way they once were, since the natural order of relationships has been turned in favor of males. Only a small percentage of guys who have been physically burned by women have an understanding of the plight of women in their 30s are now the men they choose to date instead of the entire male side of the human race. It's even worse for women who have an obsession with having babies. They don't care how they can get one because they want a child so desperately. They will sleep around unprotected and claim to be taking the pill when they are not. I met a man who had 3 children in 3 years with 3 separate women, all of whom claimed to be taking the pill. He is currently supporting 2 children and residing with the lady who gave birth to his 3rd child. I used to believe that once their friends started having babies, a lot of ladies my age would start having children as well, especially in the group of individuals I hang out with. Many of my female friends who are in partnerships and are in their mid-30s have decided against having children at all. A lot of the ladies in groups of 10 to 15 who hang out together choose not to have children. Due to the fact that these 35-year-old ladies are still partying and clubbing as they did in their 20s, the few women who did have children are no longer accepted into this particular social circle. I find it revolting that women go to cougar clubs in an effort to meet 25-year-old males. Most of these 25-year-old males only worry about getting laid, which severely undermines the self-esteem of many women. However, they don't seem to give a damn. They want to continue the party for just a little longer before they reach middle age because they need the attention of handsome young men. Men don't go about trying to raise children and become feminine to care for children. They're perfectly happy being who they are and doing what they're supposed to do to be providers and protectors. They don't try to become women or take on the responsibilities of a woman. A woman wanting to be the provider is like a man complaining about his inability to give birth to a child. So while feminism did bring a lot of growth for women and empowered them to pursue better and more independent lives, feminism failed to draw a boundary between the level of independence and freedom of being. It made women want to become men and eventually despise men for being masculine. Yes, feminism hates masculinity. That's the real truth. Also, if you go through social media today, you'll see tons of videos from women who are hitting the wall and realizing how wrong they were to not start their families early on and settle down. They're complaining about how men are not giving them the attention and validation that they used to, and instead are choosing younger women to start families with. All in all, feminism couldn't liberate women like it set out to, because liberation isn't financial freedom. It's making women feel comfortable in being who they are and being comfortable showing their feminine side. Men are and always have been providers, and they thrive when they're protecting supporting and providing for women. It gives them purpose. Similarly, for women, their real purpose isn't being CEOs of organizations or becoming board members of large public companies, it's being female. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content from Man Reacts.